the journey upcoming well shoot, give me a second guys. There we go. We are live in action. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Share this. Messengers. Go to Alright, guys. Well, we're gonna get on the story this morning. Um, I've been talking on TikTok, doing live streams on TikTok about stupid stuff. Okay, the stuff that how do I put this? What's wrong? What's right? But it's with the laws. So, number one rule, or number one, not rule, but number one thing I want to throw out there is that I've walked all over the place. I've walked from Delta to Montpelier, Delta to West Unity, Delta to Fayette, from West Unity to Delta. It's the whole 9 yards. Okay? I'm gonna break this down into simple detail. Is that I've got um how do I say this? I've gotten a couple stops by the sheriff deputies when I've walked out in the middle of the night. Okay, I also found out because I sweet talked them plenty a couple times. Give me a second. And what here's what happened. I was walking with traffic coming behind me. Well, he said that I should be walking with traffic coming at me. Well, I finally kept pushing him, pushing his buttons, and I told him, I said, "Well, is it a law?" He said, "No." He said it's a recommendation. It's a safety precaution. So here's to all you law enforcement officers around Default County, Williams County, Henry County area. If you see me walking down A 109, B Airport Highway, or 108, and I'm walking on the side with traffic coming behind me, I ain't gonna go over there. It's a recommendation that I'm supposed to be walking with traffic coming at me. Okay? There's no law that states that I have to walk with traffic coming at me. Same thing goes with the bikes. If I'm riding my bike, vice versa, I'm not riding with traffic coming behind me. I'm not well, maybe I will because I'm ignorant and stupidity. But technically, with the bike, you're supposed to ride with traffic coming behind you. Well, I'm gonna keep it that way. I'm not gonna put no mirrors on my bike, no nothing. Um, and maybe I'll just be ignorant, ride my bike on the side of the road that traffic's coming at me. Because there's no law in the law handbook that says that you have to do this. It's a recommendation. Like, for example, there's a Delta cop that I don't like him, he don't like me. Tried to tell me to get on the sidewalk one time. Well, after he cleared out of sight, I got back in the road because he came from Toledo and he's trying to run a small town like Toledo. Ain't gonna happen. Around here, They let us go with the petty shit, okay? So I passed another Delta law enforcement officer about 30 minutes later. He drove right past, didn't say a word to me. That other officer came back and told me, or asked me why I was still on the road. I said, well, because you're not, this is a small town of Delta, and they slide with the stupid shit. I said, I just passed your other partner that's working third shift with you, and he didn't say a word to me. So, I'm doing what I want to do. But there's nothing that says that I can't walk in the road or I have to walk on the sidewalk. And the yellow vest thing, that's a recommendation too. I'm not gonna wear a yellow vest if I don't want to. That's just more clothing I have to put on. I'm not doing it. Now, if I take a long journey to like Kunkel to see my mom, yeah, I will. But if I'm walking to Wasion or Archbold, I'm not wearing no vest. Or if I'm just walking outside of town, no thank you. But the main topic that I wanted to bring up this morning is that I've been doing research on Ohio laws, state laws, government laws, just to save my chops because I'm tired of getting in trouble. I've been in trouble too many times as a juvenile. I've been in too much trouble as an adult. Um, so, and the thing that's gonna really tick off your local law enforcement, your sheriff's department, even your state troopers. If you know the law, well, if that pedestrian knows the law and looks over that law and makes sure that he can do that, or what the guidelines are of doing it until he can get in trouble, it's gonna really pee off the cops when they show up, because then that just makes them look stupid. Because if you know the law, like I've watched on YouTube or TikTok, that the stupidest things the cops want to argue with you about. Like, I'm gonna throw this one out there. We had a former police chief for Delta that was, his name was Chief Hardstock, and I did videos of the police department in good terms, like doing TikTok videos, doing YouTube videos, whatever. He come out, had a talk with me. He goes, I don't disagree with you, and I don't the like how you do the videos. But he did say that it is not against the law to film. So let me put this in a perspective for you. So if officers can have a body cam or a dash cam in their car, then that should give me the right to do the same thing. So after he said that, I've looked up certain things. Um, like I've seen people on social media that would videotape inside of like the post office. If you guys actually go into the post office and look at the bulletin board, there is a video. I don't know how you want to say it, like a video piece that talks about doing videos or like doing whatever. And like most sidewalks um are all, how do I say this? Are all public. So I've watched a TikTok video that was like 3 parts. This guy was passing a prison or a jail, something. He was on a city sidewalk filming the jail. and the cops are giving him a hard time. In the last part of the video, the cops were the stupid ones because he was right. The sidewalks are public use. As long as he doesn't pass, so you got the boulevard, the sidewalk, and then you got the actual property of that jail, prison, whatever. As long as he's not passing the sidewalk to go onto that property, they can't do nothing about it. I've done TikTok videos, I've done YouTube videos of the sheriff department while I was on the property. They didn't do anything. I've done Delta PD. They didn't do anything. I've done the fire department. They didn't do anything. So, if you guys want to do certain things, pretty much look up your city, state, and local law, or city, state, and federal laws on what you can and can't do, or if you're able to do it, where's that criteria meet of you getting in trouble? Because there with anything, doesn't matter if it's a law or not, there's a criteria or like a dead mark of pushing the limits. Um, like for an example, it's not against the law to cuss at a cop or swear up and down at them, but it's not right. And a lot of people do that because they don't like law enforcement or whatever the reason is. Me, I want to be friends with law enforcement just for because if something were to happen, or like say uh Delta cop passes me, sees me doing something that they don't care that I'm doing or whatever, that it's not a problem, it's not bugging anything, um that they get a call about me 5-10 minutes later, and they have to come check up on me, whatever, just make sure I'm not doing anything stupid. So there's that breaking point of doing something to where law enforcement calls you. Like when I graduated back in 2014, I used to walk. When I didn't have a job at the time, I used to walk odd ends of the night. 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, walk to Wasion. I don't know how many times Deputy Buer picked me up, uh, taking me to Wasion, or taking me wherever I need to go, pretty much. Um, him and a couple other deputies I love to death. The head sheriff, I love him as well. He's a cool guy. I love giving him crap. Um, but there just comes, like I said, there just comes a time where you have to know your deadline marks to doing something. Um, like when I did graduate, like I told you guys, I would walk 11, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. People would get so used to me walking around the Delta late at night. Like there's my dad's friend, his mom lives about a couple streets over from me. And every so often, if I see her outside or I see her uptown at the store, she asks me, she goes, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. I haven't heard you come down singing at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning." Well, at that time, I had a job, but I'll get texts or messages on Facebook saying, "Hey, where you been? Just checking up on you, whatever, da da da." Because once I did that, I'll be sleeping the whole day. There was something until 2. There was one time I didn't go home until 7 a.m. and I slept a whole, I think it was Saturday, a whole Saturday away. Literally, a whole Saturday. Um, so that's another thing with local law enforcement, being friends with them, whatever. Because when I first started doing that, or walking around late at night like that, they would get calls on me. Well, they finally got to the point where I like kept my voice down to a minimum I was still saying out loud, like screaming, hollering, whatever, but I'd keep it down to a minimum because if they end up did getting a call, they'd cancel it. We had a former Delta cop that worked third shift. Uh, he had a couple of calls about me before. Didn't even come, so I asked him. I said, "Hey, did you get a call about me that night that you were working?" He said yes. Sorry, guys. He said yes, and he waited a couple minutes, act like he came and checked up on me, and canceled the call. That's what he told me. Um, there is two other Delta cops that previously worked night shift. That one went back to Wasion, and then one went to county. So now him and his brother both work for the county. But there were times that breaking line point, they come out. They didn't see no problem. They roll up the window for a minute, cancel the call, and we chit chat. Officer Wood and Officer Hensley, C. Hensley, was now that they left though, like I don't hang out at night very much anymore until dead of dawn because I don't have anyone to talk to. Those two were like my pal and pal type ordeal because if I had an issue, I'd just wait until the night that they come in. Um, and then when they work together on Tuesday nights, that's where I'd be like, hey, I need to talk to both of y'all. Just try to get one person from another person's advice. And one of them would say this thing, one of them would say this, and I'd mainly talk to Chase. But I tell you what, though, it's good to be friends with your local law enforcement. Due to the fact that for like that kind of reason of stuff right there. When I worked at Circle K in Wasion on Fulton Street, there's a Ohio deputy, or not Ohio deputy, an Ohio State trooper that lives around the area. I'm not gonna give him actually know him like I do the other ones around here, but the one night I have him on Facebook, and the one night I ended up working third shift, and he came up to the store and was sitting in his car for a while, and I was dead. I already had my stuff that I needed to get done into increments to where it's 30, so that way you could leave at 6. Well, I was done by 3, and then I was bored the rest of the night. So then I saw him sitting out there the one night. I sent him a message on Facebook, "Hey, you sitting out in my parking lot?" He was confused, man. I threw him off for a ball loop. He's like, "Huh?" I said, "Are you at Circle K on Fulton Street?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You're sitting in my parking lot, sir." It was the funniest thing. He was so confused when I brought it up to him. But that's another thing, you guys. It's I know there was one time, I think it was 15 or 16, that back then we had a snowstorm, and I was walking from Delta to Wasion, and excuse me, guys, you couldn't even see, like, if I was from here to my door, maybe a little further, you couldn't see. It was snowing that hard, and I didn't have a reflective vest on. I think the only vest I had on was this. That was the only thing I had on, and that's not as bright as my reflective jacket. My reflective jacket has more of these, but so a county truck that was plowing the road stopped and asked me where I was going. I said I was going to Wasion. He goes, "Are you nuts? Whatever." And I know a couple of those guys as well. But anyway, um, he's on Airport Highway between 10 and 11, and he left. It was been like 10 minutes or whatever. Yeah, it's cold in here. I have my heater off because it's loud. But the there a deputy showed up within like 10 minutes of him leaving to them showing up, and he told me I was nuts. He dropped me off at Walmart. He's this same deputy. I'm gonna throw out there. I like him. He's a cool. He's Buer is rocks, man. Him, Bogner, Smithmeyer, Sheriff Roy, and there's a couple other that I can't think off the top of my head. But I think Buer is the one that mainly picks me up all the time when he sees me out and about. But he's picked me up to take me to the hospital. He's picked me up to take me from the hospital back home. Like, Buer does more for me than I could ever appreciate. And there's certain times of the day, night, that the depending who's dispatching, they could answer the phone and say, "What do you want, Austin?" That's how the county knows me. That's scary. They have caller ID, but I don't think they have a phone number. I may be mistaken, but there's been times I've called the Fulton County Sheriff's Office dispatch, Austin, and Roy. I know Roy's always saying that way I should pay him to take me places, but it's it's in their quota. They're out there to protect and serve. So the only reason I call, like if I know that, especially around the holidays, if I'm walking somewhere and I get to a point where traffic's heavy or whatever, I'll call the county and be like, "Hey, there's a couple of the guys that I have on Facebook, and if I call county saying, 'Hey, is this person working?' They say yeah, I'll be like, 'All right, thanks, whatever.' I'll message that deputy, 'Hey, I'm out between so and so on this road trying to get here. Traffic's getting pretty hectic. Can you pick me up?'" Bogner is one of them I've done that with a couple times. Back when I had my suicidal thoughts, instead of taking me to the hospital, like, he would come talk to me. There was times me up at the Delta PD and had a conversation. Then that's all I need is, like, I'm not how I am or whatever, but I don't need to go to the hospital. All I need is somebody with good motivation to be like, "Hey, you'll be fine," whatever. And there was times that I've talked to Officer Hensley or Bogner, and it could be anywhere between half hour to 2 hours, depending on how busy they are on the road. And that's all it takes is for me to talk to somebody instead of actually going to the hospital for 48 or 72 hours. Max is like 72, something like that. But anyway, it's just to have that good contact with people like that they're trying to help you right there and then. I'm just saying though that if you do stuff like I do, where I am out walking around or on my way out doing something, so that way I know, hey, this is the dead mark before I get in trouble, or this is not against the law. My probation officer, but the way I look at it, he's gonna be an asshole if you're to be an asshole to him. He will work with you. Your probation officer will work with you if you work with them. It's not you work with them, they'll work with you. So you have to work with them first before they can work with you. It's with law enforcement, the judge, whoever. You get that respect to them, nobody's always an asshole to them. It's the basic sense in the moment that you guys have to, like, can't do that stuff. I've watched cops or World's Wildest Police videos, and I'll sit here and watch that stuff, and people take off for the for a freaking minor citation for a taillight being out. Oh, I thought I had a warrant. Well, now you got a freaking felony charge on your record because you fled from police. But it's that kind of stuff too. You guys gotta know that just makes it worse. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should run from the police." No, because that is a tick them off. They'll get you for resisting. Like they'll throw the whole book at you with felonies just for a minor traffic offense. I've know there was a couple times, like one I walk when I had my maroon truck. I went to West Unity to my cousin's house to get scrap that they had that they wanted me to pick up when I was doing scrap collecting at the time. And I pulled into the gas station uh, right there across from the furniture company. I went in to go pay for gas, came back out, and a West Unity and I think a sheriff deputy showed up as well. I'm not for sure. They wanted my license, registration, proof of insurance, whatever. I obeyed with them. They told me they're like, well, we got a call that we might have a possible drunk driver on our hands. I wasn't drunk. They could even tell I wasn't drunk. I lifted up my glasses like this. They didn't see my eyelids were red or nothing. They asked me what, because they said that I was swerving or whatever. Well, when I pulled into the gas station, I pulled my phone from under like the from underneath the seat because it fell on, or called my cousin, try to get directions from her to get to her place. So they didn't let me leave because I didn't know where I was going at the time. They didn't let me leave until my cousin showed up, but my cousin's husband showed up, and I followed him to the house. But it's just, you can't be distracted. I've learned now that when you're driving, which a lot of these younger generation kids that go out and get their, you guys, that's what 99.9% of these accidents are caused by texting, driving, being on your phone. There's a law that they passed back in 2023 that if they even catch you on your phone, ooh, that was bright. They catch you on your phone, it can be anywhere between $100 to $500, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys look that up, let me know. It's a hefty fine. So I've learned when I had my Ford Ranger and the Honda Pilot, if I was listening to music, I would put my phone on Do Not Disturb, put my phone up in the phone holder on the dash, play my music and let it go. I didn't touch it. If I got a phone call, I wouldn't answer it. I'd pull over and answer the phone. Like my Ford Ranger, I put my phone in the passenger side or I put it in the glove box. And if my phone rang, then I'll find a safe spot to pull over and call them back or answer it if I was able to do it at the time. Because being on your phone while you're in the vehicle cause more accidents than you ever can imagine. They can hit you up for the distracted driving and a couple other offenses for being on your phone. So I've learned to not be on my phone while I'm driving. Like if I put my phone up in the phone holder, hook up my phone to the radio, done. I don't touch it till then. That's all. If somebody calls me or texts me, I answer it when I can get to a safe spot to park. Or if I get to where I'm going and answer it, whatever. But and that's another thing though too is that I'm throwing out there is that they have these laws for us to abide by, like being on your phone, no texting and driving. But yet you see law enforcement or you'll see paramedics, not all the time, but mainly law enforcement, they'll be on their phone while they're driving. that two wrongs don't make a right, okay? I know that, but they're out there to protect and serve, and we're out here to supposed to be obeying the laws, but yet they're not obeying the laws. They should be doing the same thing that we are doing. Just because they're in uniform, wearing a badge doesn't make them above the law. There's been plenty of times I have walked, literally, I have walked around the county or any other county, and I'll see a deputy or a local PD on their phone while they're driving. And now that this new law came out, I made a video. I don't know if I did a live stream or a video about it, but saying that, hey, I'm not, if I catch a deputy, state trooper, or local PD on their phone while they're driving, I don't want to be the dick, but I'll turn you in, because you're out there supposed to be out there to protect and serve, but yet you're doing something that we're not supposed to be doing. We'll get pulled over for that same shit. How does that even work? I'm just saying this because you see a deputy that's on their phone, they're driving, and then up the road you get up there and they're in an accident because they went left of center or they weren't paying attention. They can cause accidents as well as anybody else. Especially with wintertime being here, with the roads being the way they are, and temperatures being the way they are, you guys gotta be careful on your phones. Be safe out there. You want to make it home to your family. We're out here supposed to be obeying the laws, so should the local law enforcement. They should be doing the same thing we're doing. If we have to obey that law, they have to obey that law. I don't want to be a freaking snitch and say, hey, this, because then that's just gonna ruin your reputation with being friends with the PD or the county or whoever you're friends with, because they don't want to deal with you because you're gonna turn them in for stupid shit. But they should obey the law as much as anyone else. And yes, I've seen it on social media, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, where deputies or local law enforcement or deputy pulls over another officer. The most recent one I've seen was a head sheriff was in an unmarked county vehicle, like the Dodge Chargers that we have here in Fulton County that the probation department uses. He ended up getting cited for doing a 95 and a 35. And it wasn't no, you had to pay the ticket. It was he had to go to court because he was supposedly on his way to work. If I can find that video, I'll post it here on YouTube or in Facebook and my TikTok accounts. But just a matter of the fact is, law enforcement thinks they have the right above and beyond to do everything, do what they want to do because they got a badge. They're in uniform. They're out here to protect and serve and protect us. But yet we're supposed to be obeying the laws while they're not. Ain't gonna fly with me. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this live stream. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. Don't know why the past couple days I haven't been able to sleep, but always remember to hit that like button if you like this video. Comment if you have any comments. Subscribe to the channel. Go tell your friends, your family to subscribe to the channel. To like the videos, comment. Go tell your dog, your cat, whoever's got YouTube or anything. Toadmaster out.